Heater aired out. I'm driving around in really cold temperatures, and I forgot to turn it up to high. I think I had it at about 17. When it can go up to 35, I tried turning it up before it aired out, but to no avail. Now I gotta wait till it actually turns itself off all the way, or I can try turning it back on, and hopefully it just sorts it out. Sorry, there's a giant steering wheel in the way. Hi there, can I please get a large coffee with 2 cream and 4 sugars?
Anything else?
No, that's everything.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Anybody behind us? Anybody behind us? No, we're good. Cheers. It's gonna do it. Is it gonna do it? Ooh, a large is almost too much. Still coffee in there. Thing's still powering down. Good grief. All right, that is finally turned off. Hopefully it works. Okay. Drive slow, drive slow, drive slow, very slow, very slow. Nice and easy. Easy does it. All systems go. A little easier driving with it set to max. It started right back up. Air didn't come back. Definitely putting the Duratrax to the test today. Hope I'll be able to get out of here. Hey, Penny. How are you? When I'm filming this, we're actually going through quite the little cold snap here in Calgary. It's about minus 36 degrees Celsius with the wind chill. And on days like that, I don't tend to turn the diesel heater off. So we're sucking back the diesel a little bit more frequently than we usually do. Not only do I not turn it off, but because it's so cold, I'm having to keep it on a little bit higher than I would usually do. Normally I can get away with keeping it on low, like 10 degrees Celsius. It'll keep the place nice and warm. Last night I left it on 20 degrees and it just kept up. So we're just gonna top this diesel up before we continue. Go. No diesel. All right, close the door. Not a heat out. Go crazy. Yep, 2 different socks. All right, so the main reason I'm filming today is to get this out of the way. I had a company reach out to me called LiTime. They used to be known as Amperetime. They are primarily a battery company, and they sent me a 12 volt, 200 amp hour lithium battery to install, review, and see how it does. And I am very curious to see how it does. That's what you're sitting on right now. Because I live in a very cold climate, from my knowledge or what I know, very limited capacity, lithium batteries don't do well in cold. So you gotta try to keep them warm. I've been using flooded batteries for the entire duration of my van life so far. I think I may have done some damage to those batteries though, just by using my Keurig, because I'm very picky when it comes to my coffee. Apparently, I'm not even a guy that likes his coffee that much, but I'm getting off track. My main purpose here is just to get the battery unboxed, get a look at it, and get it up off the floor, because again, the floor area here will continue to... Don't eat almonds right before you start talking to your camera. The floor area will continue to drop in temperature as well as the temperatures outside continue to drop. So, hi Penny, care to see what all the fuss is about? This is what I want to get unboxed. Plus, I've been living with it like this for a while. Maybe we'll do some first impressions today as well. I am still dealing with a lot of back and leg pain. And plus, it's really cold outside. And my battery system does best underneath the bed. That's just where all the wiring is. So when it comes time to actually getting this connected to my system, it's going to take removing my entire bed, folding the platform closed and getting under there and rewiring stuff. That doesn't sound like something I want to do in minus 36-degree weather. We've got plenty of time to get this video done. We'll get it hooked up hopefully in the next week or so, and we'll see how she does. The first thing to do once I get it unboxed, once I'm done yapping here, will be to get it onto a battery charger and make sure it is all completely topped up and A-okay. So let's get a knife and get this box open. All right. Well, Penny, you're going to be in the shot. You can take up 1/3 of the frame. That's fine with me. Ugh. Hey. No. I don't need my seat unboxed. Thank you. Nice little information package here. Product manual. What else we got in here? Got a service card. Share with us how LiTime has changed your life. Oh, well, I plan on doing that. And then, yeah, just a service manual here, or product manual, excuse me. Oh, and Life and Discovery. What is this? A whole bunch of other products. Very cool. Keep that all organized in a nice little professional envelope that they gave us. Find a spot for you later. All right, meanwhile, what is this? What the heck is this? Oh, nice. Those are the posts. Very cool. How easy is this going to be? Or hard? Holy sh... Well, my first impression is it's very large. Yeah, and now that I see it on the camera, it doesn't look that large. That's a big girl. Wow. Ooh, shiny. How in the heck am I gonna get... Oh, it's got handles. Excellent. They were so thoughtful. They put handles on it. That's very kind of... Thank you, LiTime. I appreciate that. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Whoop. Oh, you know what? That's not... Ooh, no, that hurt the leg. But that's actually not that heavy, all things considered here. Hang on. Lift with your arms. Lift with your arms. Hey, 12.8 volts, 200 amp hours, 2,560 watt hours. Application area, RV and camper, outdoor activities, solar and wind power, power backup, other lead acid AGM battery replacement. Well, we're definitely 2 out of that for sure. And solar starting. All right. This is one thing that always sort of threw me for a loop when I looked at lithium batteries and stuff, is like in the product photos, you just see flat pieces on the top here where the positive and the negatives are. And I'm like, I hope they come with posts. And now we've learned they do. So yeah, first impressions is it's large, but it's not as heavy as you would think it to be. Like compared to a flooded battery of this size, I wouldn't probably even be able to lift it right now in my current state. It's very warm in here. Hang on. So that's cool. I am going to want to try to build some sort of insulation for it. Maybe I should just keep the foam it came in. Put that under my bed. Yikes. But there, what are you looking at on this side? Oh, good. You had the good side to you. Penny, your head's in the way. Darling, you're not being very cooperative. You just want to be front and center. I understand. We got to get this battery video done. Well, we're not going to get it done today, like I said. See previous reasons. And I will say this, the nice thing about the lithium battery is I don't have to worry about any sort of off-gassing or anything. I mean, I guess there's a risk that it could like explode into a huge fireball, but when it's not connected to power, we should be just fine. The nice thing about it not off-gassing is that when I'm not in the van or whatever, if I'm not like on the bed, I can keep the battery on the bed so it's off the floor and staying nice and warm. That's another reason I wanted it out of the box. It should be a little bit easier for me to move around now. And like most things that are that large, it's gonna be real nice to have that box the heck out of the house. Okay, so I'm gonna get to installing this battery here probably tomorrow, but it'll be a lot faster for you. Editing. I've taken care of what I need to take care of to sort of make this install possible, although you wouldn't really be able to tell. What I'm gonna do now is I'm actually parked at a place where I have some shore power and a lot of clothes. I'm gonna get the little posts installed and we're gonna throw the battery onto my Noco Genius 10 charger. Every time I get a battery, I always like to make sure it's completely topped up and ready to go. I think that's just a good practice when you're installing any sort of new battery into any system. I mean, unless it's like you bought Duracells from 7-Eleven, they're probably topped up. That's what we're told. So we're gonna do that. I'm just going to attach the positives and the negatives to that on the battery, and we're gonna leave it overnight. This is the original charger I bought for my house batteries, but then when I got the flooded batteries, their amp hour rating actually exceeds this. This thing maxes out at 200 amp hours, so we needed something a little bit bigger. Those flooded go to 240, but the lithium is 200, but it should just be better all around. That's what I've been told to believe. So let's get this attached and set up and make sure she's good to go before we attach her to the house. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so take these little tabs off. Beauty. Where are my posts? That guy on there. Hey. First things I've ever attached to the lithium battery. That's kind of exciting. Get those tightened down. I actually will use this guy. Where is screwdriver function? Go. Yeesh. Nice and tight. All right, then we'll put these caps over those in case the cats decide to get a little frisky and stick their tongues on these or something. All right, and we'll plug into our shore power line here. Well, it's just coming from the shoreline. There we go. We got power on the Genius. I don't know if you can see the lights. My light there might be. Thank you, Penny. I do appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna turn this on. We got 12 volt AGM and lithium. Oh, exciting. We get to go to lithium and it's blue. I don't know if you can see that. So it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna test the battery and see where it's at. Apparently this battery is dead AF. So it's gonna go boop, 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 charge it all the way up. I've seen it do this before on a full battery. It's just sort of sensing it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. And then tomorrow is the big day. Hopefully we'll get this LiFePo4 battery power and lucky. So I just checked on the status of the battery. It's charging, and yeah, it was dead. It's only at the 2 red bars right now, and it goes red, red, orange, green on that Noco charger. So definitely give these batteries a charge when you first get them before you install them. I mean, I guess you could install them and then just charge them with whatever charging system you have, but don't expect to be running much, at least in my experience. All right, it is morning, and we are fully topped up. Green means go, as my little girl would say. All right, time to start doing some serious vlogging about this whole situation. I've literally been sitting here looking over my electrical system, which is just a nightmare. I know that. I know my way around it. It took a lot of work to get this electrical system in place, and now trying to add a new battery to it is proving to be just a little frustrating. That has nothing to do with the battery. I mean, it's a little on the large side. So what I want to do is, again, my paranoid brain or prepping brain, or I don't like change, and new things do tend to scare me, even though I like it when I see limited time on items. What I'm going to do is, I don't even know where it is right now, but I want to install a 1-2 off switch because I don't want to get rid of my flooded batteries right now. These are currently my batteries. They work real well, but they are flooded. They require maintenance, and there's always the potential for off gas. I seal them up. They've got a nice, cute little battery box that they live in, but lithium, they're just better. In theory, it should be better, and I got to see how this works. So I want to install them with that switch so that if the lithium fails, I can switch back to my flooded, vice versa sort of thing. So that will require me running power from both batteries to the switch and then one power line out to my positive bus bar here. There's only one place I think I can stick that big lithium battery, and that is underneath my bed at the back here. Ultimately, what I will obviously want to do down the line when it's warmer weather out, because it's still March and it's freezing cold outside, is if the lithium works out really well, I'm going to want to rip all of this out, completely redo my power system, clean this up, get it looking a little bit nicer, then not have to worry about having two battery systems. But for now, I'm just going to get this sucker installed and hopefully be able to explain it to you once it is. There she is. She's right underneath my bed. She's got her own shore charge power, and then she's grounded to my shunt that is then grounded to the other battery and grounded to the chassis or the body of the van, whatever. You got power running out to the 1-2 switch, which I'll take you out, and it's right at the back of the van. It's going to take me a minute to sort of get out of here. But I learned something, which I guess it makes sense now that I think about it, but I never thought about it before, because I disconnected my power to my positive bus bar, right, from my batteries. And I'm thinking, okay, as soon as I do that, I will lose all power in the van. So I was going through the motions, turning off the diesel heater so it wouldn't get a sudden stop of power and all of that. But I pulled the power off the battery and everything stayed on. I was like, what the hell's going on? There's no power. And then I realized, or I kind of like deduced, it's the solar panels. We got full sun. We're directly in it today. And the solar kept my systems going, which I'm sure there's lots of people that are going, duh, but I didn't know that. And then of course I went down a rabbit hole of, oh my God, can I have my like DC to DC charger and solar charge cables running to my bus bar instead of directly to the battery? I think it's fine. But either way, I've also got my solar charge controller switched over from my flooded battery setting to my lithium setting. And I got to look up the DC to DC Renogy charger and switch its little switches at the back from flooded to lithium as well. And now, as far as my actual flooded batteries are concerned right now, they're still going to be in operation. But the only way that they're going to receive a charge right now is when I have shore power. They have their own charge controller, or what? Charger, battery charger. And now we are running off of lithium. Well, actually, we're probably running off of solar right now, but yeah, I'm excited to give the lithium battery a try now. So what I did is I took this insulation panel that was on my side door behind this fabric that Priscilla made me. Hi, Priscilla. Should have done that looking. Hi, Priscilla. And that's what the battery is sitting on. So there is the lithium battery. This is the main power cable that's going to it, like the positive, and then the negative runs, like I said, to the shunt, which is connected to the other battery and which is grounded right there. And then here is the 1-2 switch that I installed. And I have to say a huge thank you to Lisa and Christine. Oh no, is it Christina? I'm a terrible person. But you know who you are. You sent me the wires, and Lisa sent me the switch. So this is the 1-2 switch. Now, I'm not going to be using the 1 and 2 function that you can see right here, right? Because that would put both batteries together and you'd be drawing power from both. I'm not a scientist, but I can't imagine that combining flooded batteries with a lithium would be very good for anybody involved. So I'm just going to be using it as a off or either or. So my lithium is on 1, which is down here. Then I can turn off. Let's see if the lights go off there above Penny. They don't, because we still have solar power, which is obnoxious. But I switched this to the off position. Maybe we'll test this later tonight. And then up here on the 2 position, this wire is going to the flooded batteries, which are underneath there. So on the back of the switch here, you see this black wire is my lithium positive. This one is my flooded positive. And then this one is the positive that goes to the bus bar. It might sound complicated, but it's actually really easy as long as the rest of your system is completely grounded. So I do not love that this is floppy doppy back here. The bolts that came with this switch, they're literally that. They're bolts, not screws. They want you to drill a hole through and then nut and bolt it on the other side. We don't do that. That's not how we roll. So I'm going to stop at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and we're going to grab some really long self-tappers, and we're just going to mount this sucker right there. All right, so it's the morning of the first day where I used the lithium battery all night. And the first thing I'm noticing is I'm hoping that this is all wired properly. This is the first time that I've seen my battery monitor behave this way. Hey, let me turn the light on. Hang on. Like, I'm actually seeing the amp hours drop. I set the amp hours to 200 because that's what's on the lithium battery. 88%. That's one of the lower numbers I've seen when I wake up in the morning, having used my diesel heater all night. But the one thing I noticed first is that the lithium battery is really holding a higher voltage than the flooded batteries. 13.2 volts after having run all night. diesel heater hasn't stopped at the same pace that I usually use it at. Yeah, my flooded batteries, they'd probably be down to 12.4, 12.3. That's probably not news to anybody who really knows anything about lithium batteries, but it's really cool for me to see. So I think we should put it to the test. What do you say? Should we put it to the test? Yeah? Stellies. Yeah. Should we break out the Keurig? So the one thing that I've been constantly saying is that the Keurig, I think, took its toll on my flooded batteries. They might not have been designed at the capacity that they have to run an appliance like that. The Keurig itself doesn't take a lot of power, but the heating process sure as heck does. Am I ballsy enough to do that on the first morning having the battery installed? YOLO, as the kids say. All right, so I'm gonna get the coffee pot here. Coffee pot. Plugged into the inverter. Let's turn the inverter on. Where is it? There we go. Hello, Stella. How are you? Good morning. Yes. Such a good morning. Good girl. Is that going to be enough water in that bottle? Let's see. Fill it up. Oh, perfect. Right to the max line. Oh, yeah, in my coffee cup. No, that's not exactly what I would call clean, but it's just my yuck. And you got to be okay with your own yuck. Yuck. Not okay with it. Good enough. All right, a cinnamon bun coffee. Still making our way through those. Moment of truth. I'm gonna regret this so hard. Oh, it's down to 12.8 because it's running the invert. Oh, back up to 13. Do it, Doug. Excuse me, guys. Ooh. Let's see what happens. Just taking the water in. I remember doing this when I first installed the inverter down by the river under the bridge last summer. And I was checking out my battery monitor to see how it handled. So it's gonna be interesting to compare for sure. I was in quite a panic mode back then. I thought my house was on its last legs. Oof. Down to 12.1. That's still a lot higher. 1.9 kilowatts. So that's 1,000 what? 1,900 watts. It's a lot of wattage. 12 volts. Haven't hit the low cutoff yet. I think I set the low cutoff to like 10.8 or something on the lithium. Yeah. Drain it a full percent, why don't ya? Riveting! Doing things. Oh, 11.9. I just want to see how much it bounces back to once the heating process is done. It just starts dispensing the coffee. It takes a minute or two here. Drop in, drop in, drop in. Wow, 12.8. Coffee is dispensing. 12.8. I wonder what will happen when I turn the inverter off. Let's wait for the coffee to finish and find out. Watery looking coffee, I'll tell you what. All right, so now I'm gonna hold this here. I'm gonna reach around. Everybody calm down. Where is the inverter switch? There we go, and back up to 13. So far, I love this battery. All right, so now I'm learning this the hard way, although I'm learning something I already knew, is that the lithium battery is not going to charge when it's cold. And it's not like super cold out, but underneath the bed near that close to the floor, yeah, I'm sure it's pretty darn chilly. So it's not taking a charge or anything right now. The DC to DC charger, like normally it sends 500 watts through as soon as I turn it on, and it's only sending like 20 because I changed the dip switches on the DC to DC charger to lithium. So it's obviously detecting how cold it is. So I probably have to do some sort of modification, and I'm thinking maybe I can use a T-joint from my diesel heater to then have like the left side of the T-joint coming out and heating up the van, and the other side, maybe I can route some piping underneath the bed right towards the lithium battery. It's definitely gonna require some sawing. I'm gonna go to my storage unit where I have my spare diesel heater parts and grab some of that stuff, and then we'll see what happens. Of course, once the van warms up, because it is winter. All right, so I got some items from my storage unit here from the spare parts bin of my diesel heater. So I got 2 more hoses, I guess. I got the T intersection. I got 2 of these end caps, right? One there, one sitting in here. It's too bad the end caps don't attach to the T exactly. They have to have a piece of this hose in between. That's okay though. So my thought is, if we can come down here and see this disaster, oh, that's what that loud banging was. My vacuum fell down. Is I'm gonna take this off, stick the T-joint in here, have my house heat here, like I said, and then have the other one, have the hose run underneath the bed. I need a vacuum under here. These cats are messy AF. All right, so I got everything back the way it needs to be here with the bed, and I did get all of this completed. So now this is the unit we have going on here. We got the T-joint coming out here. This will be the main one that heats the house. This one is running right here. This very fancy hole under the bed. Same idea, pointed right at the lithium battery. So now I don't want to hear any more shenanigans from that battery. No excuses to slow charge, in theory. All right, time to wrap this video up. That's a lot of yapping about a battery, right? But I've been living with it for a while now, and honestly, I don't have any complaints yet. It's been pretty cold. It's survived because I've been keeping it warm with the way I had to redo my heating. Obviously, I didn't want to have to do more projects with installing a new battery, right? That was struggle enough. But at the end of the day, when I really think about it, looking back, I don't mind that stuff. I like things that sort of keep me on my toes when it comes to projects around my house anyway. Now, what's it like versus having flooded batteries? Because that's all I can really speak to. I haven't used AGM. I haven't used anything else. It's just been flooded batteries for the majority of my life, and now I'm onto this lithium. And I know I've been calling it a lithium battery this entire video. It is a LiFePo4 battery, but it's the lithium battery. It's great. There's a reason why they are the go-to standard of batteries right now. If you can keep them warm, I absolutely think they are worth it. The flooded batteries, well, great and strong and powerful. And you know what? They might actually end up lasting longer than the lithium or the LiFePo4 batteries, depending on how well you take care of them and how much you use them, yada, yada, yada. They're a little bit more of a pain, right? They're real heavy. You got to maintain them and keep them topped up with water, which it's not an excuse to not use them. Just don't be so lazy. But it all comes down to what you can afford. Don't think that if you can't afford a lithium battery, you shouldn't get into this lifestyle or you shouldn't bother doing a build. That's nonsense. I'm proof that you can do it with, let's call them obnoxious batteries, because, you know, who actually wants to fill shit up with water? But I have to say a huge thank you to LiTime for reaching out and offering me the opportunity to use this battery and keep this battery. Full transparency, I'm not the kind of guy that loves doing, not really sponsored videos, but product review videos. It's not really my thing. Although I'd be stupid if I didn't take advantage of things that would actually end up benefiting and improving my van life. And if I can bring a little bit more awareness for some people on whether or not a lithium battery is a good thing, hey, why not? So yes, I absolutely think lithium batteries are worth it, simply for the fact that you can drain them lower. They can go almost down to 0% before you're doing any damage. I think the threshold is like 10%, maybe 20%, whereas every other battery, you only want to bring that down to 50% before you want to stop using it and then charge it back up, which is just one more thing to worry about. So this lithium battery has given me the peace of mind that I can just run stuff. My coffee maker was the biggest one. That's the biggest thing I have in my van. It has the biggest power draw that's going to put the battery through its paces. But then I can turn on my inverter and I can charge my Vitamin without having to be plugged into shore power. And I can use that to run whatever I want. It really is just a liberating peace of mind battery, right? Now, that being said, they're very expensive. Of course, we know this. That's no secret. Although as time goes on, that cost will come down as battery technology improves. But if you're looking to get yourself one of these LiTime batteries, formerly known as Amperetime or Amperetime, they offered me a discount code. All of that information is in the description of this video, and I will pin a comment. Head on over there with that link to get yourself a discount on one of these batteries. It should work for any product that they are offering. It doesn't have to be that 200 amp hour beast. Get yourself a little 100 amp hour if you're not as power hungry as me, wanting to have a TV and all this other jazz in your van. You'd probably be just fine with one of those. Full disclosure, I'd probably end up getting a little bit of a kickback, but I've never gotten a kickback from any of these product review videos that I've done. I just like trying out new stuff, making videos, and hopefully keeping you guys entertained. And regarding the issues that I was having with my solar charge controller pulsing my system, that was all my fault as far as I can tell. I'll keep you guys updated if it changes, but I initially went into the settings on my charge controller and I made a user profile for like your boost, your bulk, your equalization, and your float charge and all of that. Lithium batteries, therefore LiFePo4 batteries, do not use anything except bulk as far as I can tell. And I was reading online that they shouldn't have this, that, and the other thing, and the voltages should be this and that. And I thought that the lithium profile on my solar charge controller was for lithium and not LiFePo4, and therefore I thought it was doing damage to the battery. Long story short, put it on the lithium profile. If you got the Renogy Rover 40 amp, you'll be just fine. The battery was simple to install. It's very efficient. It works effectively. Is that like the same thing? And the biggest thing that not the biggest thing, but one thing that is still surprising to me is that while heavy, not nearly as heavy as those other batteries. So I wholeheartedly think that if you can afford it, lithium absolutely is the way to go. Shut up, Martin. I know you told me that ages ago. And if you've been watching all of my videos and keeping up with me chronologically, yes, I know this is sort of out of the blue compared to what happened in the last video. At this point of filming, I still haven't heard anything from anybody regarding my situation. I will still be going to talk to the surgeon, but we'll get into that in a future video. And until that future video, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves, most importantly, be positive, and I'll see you all in the next one.